Hey guys, welcome in. Travis Hunter. The question is not whether or not he's going to play both sides of the football in the NFL. The question is, will his game translate to the NFL, and how great will he be in the NFL? Let's discuss it today on the Sportscast with your hosts. What's going on, guys?
What's going on?
Howdy.
All right, that's our big question of the day. Travis Hunter. There's been a lot of talk about where he's going to go. Um, And it also depends on where he goes with this question, right? How good he's going to be, because obviously, if you get a good player that goes to a really really bad team, it can be hard sometimes for them to shine out. So I think it's a big question. We'll get into the draft here later on down the road, probably beginning of April. But do we think he's going to play both sides of the ball? I think the obviously the answer is yes, right? The team who's going to get him, I think mainly he's going to play cornerback. He's going to start there, but there's got to be some packages in for him on the offense, right? But do you think he's going to dominate like he did in college football? Um, because I mean, I don't think he's going to realistically play every down like he did in college. The guy never left the field, right? I don't think he does that in the NFL. And we've seen guys in the NFL before play different positions. There's a guy for the 49ers who's played tight end or fullback and then played defensive line and stuff, but he's not in every single snap, and he's not a elite dominant, right? Um, let's discuss it, guys. What do you think about Travis Hunter? Do you think he's going to be the first ever guy to come here and be elite in two positions in the NFL?
I mean, I'll let Craig give his take on that real quick before I.
I just don't think. I think he's going to be drafted as a cornerback. I think that's probably where he's better on that side of the ball. But when you look at the stats, he only had 11 pass defenses. In this year, he had 8 the year before, so he hasn't really had the opportunity. He had approximately 2,000 yards in just under 157 receptions when he played for Colorado. So I mean, he played more on that side of the ball for him as a wide receiver. I think exactly what Brian said is kind of how I look at it. Is I think he plays. I think that he's drafted as a cornerback and then has packages for him on that side of the football. But my main concern is the level of competition he faced at Colorado. Is that going to is that anywhere near what he's going to face in the NFL? And I just don't think it is. The level of competition at Colorado isn't. Colorado's not playing your SEC, your Big Ten, your Ohio States, the Georgias, the Texases, who have all these guys that go to the NFL and shine. He's not facing that level of competition every week. So when he goes to the NFL and faces that, is he as good as he was in Colorado? And I just don't know if that's the case.
I mean, I'm a defensive minded person when it comes to players, so I'm more gravitating towards defense. Um, I definitely like him on the defensive side. I think Travis Hunter has made some insane catches. It's hard to go against that a little bit, but I think, and this kind of goes to like that utility player, that dual wielding threat. We see it in baseball, with Otani. When some of these players, if they get hurt, not only are you down one position, you're down two. I think I've even mentioned that on when one of the episodes, maybe it was me and Greg on there, but I having to fill two spots for one guy would be kind of insane. Putting a team in a position like that. Now, if you have maybe you stack up one position just in case. So then you're kind of down really one, but how elite is the backup plan? I don't know. But I think overall, I mean, if I was him to for career longevity, I would say one position. I think a team, whoever is going to pick him, I think in his at least in his first few seasons, he's going to probably play both sides. Um, it just seems like they're going to do something in order to appease him in some way, and I don't think Travis Hunter's a player who's going to force that. Like, I'm either playing two positions or I'm out. Like, he doesn't seem like that kind of guy. Maybe I'm wrong. Um, but it would be interesting to see going into the season what team picks him, and if that team is willing to take that gamble, um, so to speak. I know in terms of placement, I don't even know where he would end up, but you know, the gamble, interesting enough, might could go to Las Vegas. But that would be fascinating. But yeah, overall, I don't know. I think I like the defensive side. I can see both, and I could see him doing that for maybe his first year, maybe his second year. But I overall, down the actual stretch of his career, I just don't see him playing both.
Yeah, I just think the risk of injury at the NFL level doing that, the speed of the game, the force of the game, the hits he's going to take, the
Yeah.
hits he's going to give, I think it's much more of a risk. Um, I mean, when you're talking about Otani, he only pitches once every fifth day. He's not pitching and playing defense or whatever every day. Like he's either just hitting or he's pitching once every fifth day. So the every game, that many games, I think it's a huge risk for Hunter to play both sides of the ball in the NFL level.
Yeah. What do you think, Mike?
No, no, yeah, it definitely is a huge risk. Big time risk in the NFL. The speed you talk about all the time, Craig, that this is the biggest jump in any any sport, going from college to the NFL. They hit harder, they run faster, they're stronger. Um, I don't think he's going to be that great year one. I think he's got the learning curve because you talk about the teams that Colorado play. Good point by Craig is they don't. It's not they don't live up to the Alabamas who are basically NFL ready and playing those big SEC teams. So I think he's got a learning curve coming in. I think he'll be a pretty good cornerback. I don't. I think he'll be a good star cornerback. My concern is just how well of a wide receiver will he be. Um, but if he comes into a team and he's a starting quarterback and a lockdown guy and a good enough to be their third best wide receiver, I would say that would be pretty impressive, right? Um, and it's kind of hard to gauge the defensive numbers because Jeff, you said it. He's made some crazy catches, and a lot of people levitate towards the offense. Oh, look at that catch! You see that crazy catch. But on the defensive side of the ball, if you're locking someone down, you're not getting the ball thrown your way. So you don't have the interceptions or the pass breakups that a lot of those. But maybe that's because he shut the guy down and they didn't even throw the ball his way. So that's a whole nother side of it too. Is can the defensive numbers? And I was looking at him for the Heisman last year, and I talked about it. I didn't think he deserved the Heisman last year, um, just because I thought Genty had a really great season. But those defensive numbers can be skewed a little bit because if he's a lockdown cornerback, then no one's throwing the ball his way. So um, it'll be interesting. I think he's definitely a top three pick. I don't think he falls out of the top three. Um, but that usually means unless someone trades up and gives a whole bunch of stuff that he's going to go to a poor football team and have to shine somewhere where it'll be more difficult for him.
Right, and he's not
Well,
going to have a top quarterback probably. I mean, he might if he lucks out, but normally those top three people, like the teams that need the quarterback, aren't going to get him and the quarterback.
Yeah.
So he's probably not going to have your top tier quarterback throwing in the ball.
and the other thing too, um, and this is and Brian brought up a good point. He was sitting there saying that the NFL is looking for breakout offensive performances, highlight reels, you know, uh, TikTok ready clips to excite fan bases and things like that. And if you're talking about the way what the NFL wants is high scoring, you know, chunk plays to excite fans and get people talking about the NFL. And I don't know if I'm the minority here, but I do not like games like that. I definitely like defensive focused games where it is, it could end in 5 seconds or it could end in the last 30 or in the last 10 seconds or whatever. So it's just like it can, it can go either way, but like I like those close fought hard battles versus these massive video game numbers that they're putting up sometimes, and those are fun, but I just don't like seeing it all the time. So
Right.
I
I mean, it's definitely the NFL's definitely changed the rules to benefit the high score, you know,
right.
deal. But my concern with Hunter also is when I watched the tape, he never really ran like crisp routes. Like a lot of his
Yeah.
deals was I'm going to the house. Like that's my route is I'm going this guy. I'm running 9 routes. Well, that's great, but in the NFL we're not doing that. Like we're not. Let's be realistic. You better learn how to run a slant. You better learn how to run a dig. You better learn how to go across the middle. And Hunter just never. That wasn't his game. His game
Yeah.
was I'm running either the 9 route or I'm running the post to the deal. And Shadur's just going to throw it over the top, and we're just going to take the top off the defense. And in the NFL, I just don't know if that translates. In the NFL, his ability to be a defensive back and lock the guy down and break up, and like Jeff was saying, the highlight reels, he could still have the highlight reels on defense. He had some amazing interceptions. Three or four. He only had 3 or 4 of them, but a lot of them were diving catches that he cut the wide receiver off. I mean, he could still have that in the NFL.
Yeah, I know. I think a lot of the fans, you look for on defense in that position is interceptions. And it's like, that's a stat we get excited about. And, um, then Dallas Diggs got his whole contract on an 11 interception year. And then it comes back to, you
Yeah,
know,
but if you look at that,
not so,
if you really look at that
not so great.
11 interception year, he also let up the most yards as a
Yeah.
as a defensive back. He let up almost 1,000 yards that season. So that was a very fluke. He's a very big boomer bust guy. He's going to go for the ball, and if he gets it, great. But he's also probably if he doesn't get it when he jumps the route, that guy's going for 65 the other direction. So that's a very big miscued season that he had.
Yep.
Well, and the other thing too, and I don't know if a lot of people are either not talking about this or I haven't heard a whole lot of people talk about it. Size wise, him in the NFL. He's kind of a smaller frame guy,
He's
which is
skinny.
fine. But he's able to build up a little bit more um some strength, maybe. I mean, to maybe also not get hurt as much.
6'1", 6'1", 185.
Yeah. So I just
And
I look at that and I think always think of a factor in there as well, even with wide receivers. If whether he plays wide receiver or he's going to just play uh cornerback, I just look at it and I'm like, especially wide receiver, you're going to get hit
Yeah.
for sure. So and then, if he does play wide receiver, then that is a risk factor as well to take into effect because, if
You
he
look
could
at
get hurt.
6'1", 185 trying
Yeah.
to tackle Derrick Henry. Have fun with that.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, he's definitely gonna have to put on some weight and strength a little bit, but uh, I think that'll come. I would assume that would be a given, but it is something to look into as well. Is his
Yeah, I
size?
don't think it doesn't normally come in the first season, but normally that first to second season where he gets with a strength coach in the NFL, you see these guys really start to get some programs to bulk up.
Yeah.
Yeah, pack on the weight and eat healthy and all that stuff. So they'll get him ready for that. Yeah, he does run a risk of being injured a lot by playing both sides. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Man, guys, there's been some interesting moves in the NFL. Um, Seattle has traded Geno Smith to the Las Vegas Raiders, and I think it's not a big quarterback move. Geno Smith to me is not a great quarterback. He had the best year of his career, got him a contract, and he's okay. I don't think he's anything special, and I don't think the Raiders got. I mean, they maybe got a little bit better because I'm going, who the hell's playing quarterback for the Raiders, if not Geno Smith this season? Now you're looking at Seattle going, who's your quarterback this year? Because your backup is Sam Howell. Um, so I mean, I guess it's total rebuild there. They went ahead and cut their veteran wide receiver. What's his name, Craig?
Tyler Lockett, and then
Yeah, Lockett,
DK Metcalf wants to trade. So
which we'll get
there
into
goes
that in a
there
second.
goes your whole offense.
Yeah, I mean it's basically rebuild mode here. And do they make a splash in the draft? I'm not sure, but did the Raiders coach Bubblegum Joe over there? I forget his name. Pete Carroll. Did he coach Geno Smith at the end of his run from Seattle? Is that why maybe he went and
No,
got him? Okay, I
no,
didn't
because I
think
think
their
they
time
got rid
overlapped.
of. I think they got rid of.
Russ,
He might have
1
one
year.
season when they got rid of Russ. Maybe the contract season.
That might be why he was like, hey, I can go get me this guy. I can win with Geno because the Raiders, let's face it, are not a winning organization. So
I didn't think of that. I thought he was already gone when the Geno Smith. But I think you might be right. I think he might have that final season
yeah,
that he was there because remember he went out. They traded Russ. So I think that final Pete Carroll season was the Geno Smith.
the Geno Smith here.
Yeah. And plus, I
So
mean, and the thing is, I mean, obviously, Seattle's not in a position to. I mean, they're not winning anytime
Not right
soon,
now.
obviously, and so I think trading pieces and building up, stockpiling things, and try to, I mean, it's you're not in a position, and some of these players may just they're wanting to win now, and it's not going to happen there. So you might as
Now
well
if you
get
can turn
something.
DK Metcalf into a top first round pick, like a higher first round pick, and go get your quarterback and start to rebuild immediately, maybe. But I don't think he's going to draw
I
that.
think they're many years away from.
No,
well
yeah,
the
but I just
Yeah.
don't think Metcalf draws that kind of. I don't think he's getting like a
Oh,
top five.
I don't think they're getting. I don't think they're expecting that. I think
Okay.
they're gonna get what they can get,
I
and
mean,
maybe I'm
I
wrong.
mean,
you know what
Debo
they're
just got a
asking?
5.
You know what they're asking for DK Metcalf?
Uh,
And I know this because
you're going to tell me the world, and I'm going to laugh.
the rumors have been Green Bay has been talking to Seattle about a trade. We were going to give up our first and a young wide receiver, and I'm fine with that. Our first is a 23rd round pick. It's a 23rd pick in the
Yeah.
first round. So I'm like, I'll take that. They're asking for a first and a third. I said, I'm not doing that for DK Metcalf. Not doing it.
Well, not when
That's
not when
that's too high.
Debo just got a 5th.
That is way too high. And look, he's 27, good wide receiver. Um, I would take him for a first. They wanted first and Dobbs, and I'm not giving up Dobbs as our best wide receiver. I'm not giving up Dobbs. They wanted a first, and we offered first and Wicks, and I guess they didn't go, but they want a first and a third. I don't think they're going to get that. But the other rumor has been that Seattle was all in on Sam Darnold train. The Sam Darnold, Minnesota Vikings are going to let him hit the free agent market, and he's played well enough this season to get a contract somewhere. So I could see maybe that happening if the Minnesota doesn't bring him back, because I guess all their eggs are in the JJ McCarthy basket when he comes back being healthy. But I don't think you're going to win with Sam Darnold either. I think you need to
Well,
figure out, I guess, what you.
now with nobody to throw him the ball, to throw the ball
Yeah,
to.
they got one guy, and that's that guy. He's got a really weird name, Enigma.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
the guy from Ohio
Ohio State,
State.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but he's good. Oh, he's good.
Jackson Smith, the Enigma or whatever his name is. Yeah, he's all
Yeah.
right. He's not.
Um.
He's injury prone, is what he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, it's just, I mean, I if I were Seattle, I would definitely not look into trying to get the world for things. I think at this point you need to just stockpile stuff. You're going to obviously, um, you know, trade more pieces possibly, and just, I mean, the whole point is rebuild. If you're going to be real, rebuild and rebuild. And asking for the moon for players when you know you shouldn't be getting.
Right.
You're more than likely not going to get the moon is ridiculous and counterproductive, and doesn't really make much sense. Stockpiling draft picks, I think, make more sense, and that's not just draft picks this draft. I think it's also draft picks in other drafts and different rounds. So I mean, why not? Why not do that kind of stuff as well? So I mean, they're just not in a position to win anything right now. So stop playing games there. Just
Especially in that division.
get what you can get.
Yeah. And if you bring in Sam Darnold, you're not winning, and so we'll see where they go. I don't think the Raiders are winning. I don't think Seattle's winning. Um, Pete Carroll was an interesting hire to the Raiders for me, but um, any other? The Chiefs wide receivers can't stay out of prison. Xavier Worthy
Oh
gets
yeah.
arrested the other night for strangulation of a family member, apparently. Um, but if the NFL has anything to say about it, they'll just let him play next season like nothing happened. That's what they did with Rice, wasn't it? So they better
Yeah.
step in here and do something about this because it would be ridiculous for them to let another Kansas City Chief wide receiver be dumb and then just nothing happened to him. So hopefully we see the NFL put a fine down on him, um, a couple game suspension maybe. But people get the money and they think they're invincible, and they go out and start doing stupid crap.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Crazy.
we're talking about this same ordeal again. I think we did this many years ago. I forgot. There was somebody we were talking about, and some player did something, got in legal trouble, and I'm just like, we're back at it again, and we're doing this all over again, and having to say the same things over and over again. And if the NFL is serious about this, they need to start taking things a little bit more seriously in terms of how they punish this kind of stuff.
100%. They've got to crack down on it. 100% because if not, you're gonna have more guys do it. And I think it's a combination of you get to the league and start making all of a sudden you become millionaires and start thinking you're on top of the world, and I don't know, but it is absolutely ridiculous, and we better see something from this guy. Um, well, let's transition into a little bit of basketball here. Um, the other day, LeBron had some interesting comments, and I thought they were kind of funny. Um, the other day, a reporter asked Anthony Edwards about being the face of the league. Do you want to be the face of the league? Do you want to take that next step? When LeBron retires, type of thing. And he said, "No, I don't want it. Give it to Wimbyamba." So they heard that and they asked LeBron, "Why would Edwards not want to be the face of the league?" And the LeBron says, "Why would you want it? Why would you want it when all anybody does is shit on that person?" And then he talked about how he never wanted to be the face of the league, which is absolutely a bull-faced lie. That's what LeBron's good at, is lying to you. But here's what I find interesting. LeBron James is the face of the league when the NBA has problems getting viewership. LeBron James is the face of the league when the when the NBA is as soft as it's ever been. And you wonder why no one's watching. Did that happen when Michael Jordan was the face of the league?
No.
Did that happen when Kobe Bryant was face of the league? They played every game like it was their last one. They played and showed up to all-star games and actually gave a damn. And you got LeBron who took over, who's cottonelle soft over here, where they don't show up to all-star games and play worth a damn. They don't give a crap about it. It's why the all-star games got to be changed around so much for the NBA because no one cares about it. No one cares. No one cares about the dunk contest because no big stars are willing to go out there and do that, right? No one wants to go out there
Well,
and lose a dunk contest.
I mean, Craig and I were talking about this the other day. Everybody got excited um, when in regards to the NHL nations, the Four Nations
Amazing.
tournament, and
That's been amazing.
again, mid-season, these guys are still, and now they played really hard mid-season, which is kind of nuts. But I think it was exciting to watch. People were tuned in. People were talking about it. It was a big deal. Um, when it comes to the NBA, there is no big deal when it comes to the All-Star game. So nothing. There's no incentive there. There's no excitement there. It's actually laughable. The score in itself is laughable. I mean, you take a
200
look and it's
points.
just like, yeah, 200 points. It doesn't make any sense. I've actually been to an All-Star game, so it's exciting. I was exciting to go see it, but it's not something that there's no incentive to it. There's no ramifications if you lose. In baseball, it's ramifications if you lose. Whoever's hosting the World Series, they get the home field advantage if it's NL and AL wins. So there's some incentive there. I know it's nothing too extraordinary, but at least it's something you're playing for. And then the Four Nations tournament, that was incredible. But
Insane.
yeah, when it comes to
Insane.
the All-Star game, nobody it's kind of laughable. And it honestly, the NFL is the same way. There's nothing there that makes any sense to where you're like, I don't care. Like I just don't care. I don't tune into it. There's no reason to. And unless they change something, even the stupid tournament where you win money
In-season
or
tournament,
whatever.
that
That's
means
yeah,
nothing.
in season tournament. Does anyone care about that?
No.
No. It
And I
doesn't
think
mean anything. It doesn't mean anything to the fans. How about that? We don't win money, so what do we care?
and I think your biggest issue, other than what we just talked about, you're paying these guys bukus of money, and you're telling me
Yeah.
you can't play it back to back. You're telling me you're gonna sit out games. You're gonna be a healthy scratch. Do you think Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant were healthy scratching it on the sideline?
Well, it's a different
That's
game too. It's also a
it's
different
ridiculous.
game. Like, and I think
It's
that's the other thing too. LeBron plays an old school style. He has that. He plays that. Supposedly, that was his game. He had that kind of run in the paint, getting bumped around style of play. And obviously the NBA has changed. They don't even do that anymore, and you get penalized for any little thing. But
well, I'm talking more.
in terms of the face of actual NBA, I just don't know what. I mean, LeBron's sitting there acting like it, but it's LeBron. No one likes him. Like, not many
He's
people in the fan base like this guy.
he's
The
so
only people
fake.
that like him are the Laker fans. That's because he plays on the team. If he was anywhere else, I don't think they would care. And that's the thing. I just don't. He's not likable.
Well, I think when I was talking about like sitting out, I'm talking about just the league in general.
Well,
You
yeah,
have
yeah.
superstars, healthy scratching, and then that's the tone set. Um,
Well, they manage it
by
because of the health, I guess, Brian.
Yeah, but
I
it's
don't
a
know.
softer league too. They don't
Yeah.
like you just said, they don't play that physical game anymore. They don't. And
Yeah.
so that's why the NBA has a lot of problems. But I just thought it was interesting for
What
LeBron
do
to
you
come out and
think,
say
Greg?
that. And
Oh, I think you guys pretty much covered it. I just, I mean, like you're saying, the NBA and the NFL, the All Star game, you don't even really pay attention. It's not something you have on the calendar. Honestly, I didn't know the NBA it was All Star weekend until it was actually over. When I started seeing highlights of the dunk contest on social media
Yeah.
Yeah.
of how this guy got screwed and didn't have to jump over a car to win and you know
Yeah.
and we're playing tug of war and dodgeball at the NFL deal and flag football. Um, yeah, it's um, I don't know. I've never been a LeBron fan. Um, he makes comments for attention. He does things for attention. He has his son playing on the team for attention. It's the day that he loses the attention is the day he'll go away. But as long as we keep giving it to him and keep talking about him, he's going to keep playing till he's
Did
till he can't play anymore. And
you
and that's basically what he's doing.
you see what he did to Stephen A. Smith the other day?
I saw that. And Stephen A. Smith
Absolutely,
addressed it.
yeah, absolutely ridiculous
It
for
is
LeBron James.
ridiculous. It is ridiculous
You
because he's
you
trying to protect his son.
hmm
I'm like, you put your son in that position
you did this to
anyway.
him, you jackass.
Exactly.
It is.
Exactly. LeBron James put his son on a pedestal,
Mhm.
saying he was the next coming of whatever. Okay. And then Stephen A. Smith got real and basically just kind of was like, I don't think that's the case. And it's just like LeBron's just, it's like, dude, stop. You don't control the world, dude.
Yeah.
You
It's
don't
just like
control
the Ball
Stephen A.
brothers.
Smith and you don't control the sports media. The sports media is going to say what they want, and that's it. You don't tell people what to do. And I'm glad Stephen A. Smith addressed it on his show because he should do that.
Yeah, I'm not a big Stephen A. fan, but 100%. And for LeBron to look, we all know LeBron, and then both of LeBron and Bronny James will say, and the Lakers, I didn't draft him because of LeBron. I drafted him because of his talent. No, you did not. He is not better than half the people who drafted after him. He is
No.
not NBA ready. And for you to get mad at the situation you put your son in, we talked about this on the whole episode
Yeah.
when he got drafted. Your job as a father is to your job as a father is to give your kid the best chance to succeed, and you basically just drag him up into the NBA without him being ready, and now he's in the limelight of LA, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I
Yes,
mean,
you're exactly right, Amber. Bronny can't play, and the media is allowed to say it, and LeBron James could just shove it. I mean, at the end of the day,
well, yeah, and that's the thing. And I just think that you can't the media can say what they feel. And whether you like it or not, whether you disagree with it or not, doesn't matter. Turn away then. Stop listening to it. You don't
or
have to
a private phone call, a
right,
text
yeah.
to do
He did
this
it in
and
public on purpose. He
to
knew there
embarrass.
were
It's
cameras
absolutely
there.
ridiculous, man.
Wasn't that game in LA?
Yes,
Okay, then. So
the guy's a joke.
you knew
The
there
guy's
were
a joke.
people around, and yet you still did it. And you knew people were going to talk about it because of how you aggressively approached him. Come on, dude.
Yeah,
Stop.
it felt like he was keep my son's name out your mouth.
That's exactly what came to mind. When I saw that interaction,
Oh,
I was thinking Will Smith
Will
slapping
Smith,
Chris Rock.
absolutely
That's
ridiculous.
exactly what came to mind.
Hey, Amber, thank you for jumping on in the comments section. Appreciate you.
Well, I mean,
Anybody who is
Yeah.
watching on YouTube, please like the video. We're trying to get some traction here, so I do notice there are some people on there. If you can, that'd be
didn't
awesome.
he get cut from the G League team or whatever it is? I mean, didn't when he went down, they were like, yeah, he can't play here either. Like, he just can't.
And
I mean, the
maybe
over under when he plays a game, if you look on these betting websites, the over under is like 0.5.
yeah.
Like, please score a bucket.
A bucket. We're asking for a
bucket.
bucket.
A
Yeah.
bucket.
And
Not
may,
10, 12, like just one. Just give us
Right.
Just a bucket.
one, Bronny.
exactly.
Oh
That's a
man.
big mess. So
Well, I should have pulled it up. I wish I did, but it's kind of long about the whole Luca curse in Dallas and how much of since they traded Luca, how bad the Mavericks have been, and the curse of
oh
Luka
man,
Doncic
it's oh
and the
You
Dallas Mavericks.
just put a dumpster fire icon on the thing, and then it would explain it.
we
The da-
now we are the Cleveland Browns
Oh, the
of
laughing
basketball, and it's like someone's playing, you know, what's the show? The Benny Hill. It's like someone's playing Benny Hill, and we're going and going, and people are getting hurt and left and right, and then it's just the comedic music is being played, and I'm just like, I don't understand what is happening because either
uh,
somebody is getting injured constantly, or it's Luca and LeBron, they're back at it again, and I'm like, come on, man.
yeah, when you got Luca and LeBron scoring 32 apiece every night, it is terrible. And Nico, we thought Jerry Jones was bad, but Nico said, "Hold my beer, I got you." Yes, Nico is a terrible GM, and I didn't really like Mark Cuban, but I wish he would have never sold the team
Exactly.
because we wouldn't have traded a generational icon of a freaking basketball player.
Okay,
But
so if anybody has not gone on social media and have seen the YouTube clip, and I'm sure it's cycling around everywhere else, but of Mark Cuban being
mhm,
asked that question, it
yep,
is awesome
100%.
because he literally didn't hold back. Now he didn't. There's a couple things he didn't want to get into, but he did address it I think, pretty well and pretty telling. Get a better
Yeah,
deal. And
yeah,
yet we got a horrible deal.
yeah. He's like, no offense, Anthony Davis, but the whole here's the bad thing about it. The Dallas Mavericks PR is terrible because they're doubling down. They are raising prices next year by 8%. 8%. No, no. Hey guys, sorry we screwed up. Well, let's lower the prices. Let's get the fan base. No, they're doubling down. The middle fingers to the Mavs fan base, and we're going to charge you 8% more for tickets and season tickets. And this has
to
got to be
watch
the
a dumpster fire.
worst PR team in sports, professional sports. I don't know how it gets any worse than this for the Dallas Mavericks.
I think they've won one game since he's been traded.
And I do have to say something real quick. I have to say, first of all, and Craig, you text us this a little bit of Kobe Bryant s and Mama mentality and Kyrie Irving after tearing his Achilles to
Dude,
get
he's
up and shoot
awesome.
2 free throws.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Second, I feel really bad for Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
You go and get him in the offseason, you sell him a bill of goods of look, we got Luka, we got Irving, come in here, play with them, get a chance
You're
to
the
go back to
final piece.
you're the final piece of the playoff run that we need in the championship, and you rip it down in a couple months. And oh my gosh, Klay Thompson's got to be sick. um,
It's a
yes,
mess.
you're
I
exactly right,
can't
Amber.
I can't even, I don't know what to say. Yeah, I put that up there, but I didn't I hate going down conspiracy theories, but it just keeps coming up every time when
Everything
I
they're
see
doing
the ticket
is
prices go up and they're doing an increase and they know it's going to make the fans mad and they know right now of all times, let's raise the price of tickets. Really? Really? When the
haven't
fan
even
base
breathed
is
Luka Doncic yet, and
yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah.
raising
You
prices
haven't.
next year.
You're going to do that now. It's so obvious that they're doing this for a screwed up reason. It's so obvious that they're doing this to either dismantle this franchise to where it's literally rubble and then show off and say, look how much power we have. Please pass the stupid bill. And then it's like, oh, yeah, we're going to do that now. Okay, well, then if they pass the bill, what happens? And then now you have people talking about what the Mavericks are going to do this offseason. What? Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're going to go after KD. I guess.
Well,
We didn't
what
see how
happens if
bad that turned out in Brooklyn, did we?
or Phoenix hasn't worked out there yet?
I mean, in Brooklyn, it was him and Kyrie, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
and Harden.
Well,
But
maybe
here's the
Harden
thing
was the
too.
piece that dismantled it. I don't know, but seems
Here's the
weird
thing
to me.
too. It does seem like everything they're doing is to get on out of
Well,
Dallas.
I mean, Kyrie's not going to come back till the middle to the end of part of next year. I mean, whatever
Can he opt
part
out
of this.
though? I know you're talking about injury wise.
Are you taking a busted up Kyrie and signing him? I mean, would
No,
you
he's not
opt
going to
out of
opt. He won't opt out.
free so much money? I mean,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't really think about that as far as the injury goes.
I mean, I'm not. I
you're
hope.
looking at 12 months for an ACL,
Yeah.
and that's with solid
Yeah.
rehab. I mean, we're not talking about Adrian Peterson over here.
You know what would be funny too? Well, who says Luca has to stay in LA?
Well, and that's the thing
What if he
is,
leaves?
I
He
mean,
doesn't
what are we
sign
hearing
a
stories that
long-term contract.
we're hearing stories that he's dejected in the huddle in LA. Like he's just not a part of it. Okay.
I don't think he wants that
Like
limelight of LA. That it
I
comes
don't think
with.
so either, dude. Like I think it's different playing there. In Dallas, he could kind of ride under the radar and when the lights come on in the playoffs, it's different, and no one's riding under the radar at that point, but I mean, it's that limelight is a different deal and not
The media is
everybody.
not tough. They're not asking those tough
Yeah,
questions.
not everybody can do it. It's not, it's the same thing when players get traded to New York and play for the Yankees. You have to deal with the media. It is not easy. The same with LA. So him being there, I don't know if it's I don't know. I could see him not being there. And I know right now because everybody's like, oh, well, Jeannie Buss said he's not going anywhere. Jeannie Buss doesn't control where Luka goes, and Luka's never been a free agent.
Yeah, this is
Like,
this is the Mavs' worst fear is Kyrie would join the Lakers with Luka. That would be that would suck. That would be the Mavs' luck though.
The only thing that I will say about Kyrie and why I think he may not leave, I think he likes it in Dallas. I think he likes the area. I think he likes the fan base. I think that I just have a hard time seeing him. I think it's just overall, like even he did an Instagram live right after the injury, basically like that night or whatever. And basically just telling fans like how much that he embraced the chance when he was on the line and how much that meant to him. And also I think Kyrie likes it there. I
The
just
Dallas
think that
media is much easier to deal with than it was the New York, the
yeah,
LA, the places he's been.
Yeah.
Of course, he's always been with LeBron, or he's always been with KD, or he's always been with somebody to make it a circus. Over here in Dallas, it wasn't like that. It was the attention was on Luka, and so he could just kind of play and just enjoy himself. And even when Luka's gone, it hasn't been like the shark infested waters of the Dallas media. They haven't blamed Kyrie for any of this. They've embraced Kyrie as, hey, you're here and it's your show now. And he kind of likes it. And you haven't seen the weird, Kyrie going off, deals. I don't know.
He's different.
He
He's
is
different. And I think that's the thing.
Everywhere
That's the
else he's
thing.
been as kind of a cancer, and here
Right.
it hasn't been.
And that's the thing is, sorry, I'm gonna. I think I brought it up last year in the playoffs. Leading into the playoffs, I was watching his press conferences. He's so mature, and he's so wise, and he's never dejected. Even when we lost, like even there were times when we had a loss, and he would just come out and he would still, even if there was times where Luka didn't have a good night. And yet we still gave him the ball. We still trusted Luka, and Kyrie also backed him up. He kept backing him up and backing him up. And so I'm like, this guy is different. I thought he was going to come here and it was going to be a train wreck. of a situation because I always heard how much he distracted the team with outside noise or whatever, and it's a Terrell Owens situation, and I'm like, ugh, do I want that? Like, and he did the complete opposite. The
If you were
complete
to,
opposite.
you're 100%. If you asked me when we first got him, I'm like, this guy's a cancer. This guy's causes problems. And if you were to tell me 2 years later he's holding the emotional support of the fans up, I wouldn't have believed it. But you're 100% right, and I do think Kyrie likes the Mavericks. I think he stays here if he really likes him. I think it depends on if he felt jaded by the way they handled the Lucas situation.
Yeah.
Um, because that's a if he's really close to Luca, that could have put a bad taste in his mouth and wanting him out. I hope he stays. Hope we make a big move because we look Anthony Davis when healthy is good. Kyrie Irving is good. We've got a couple players to put around him, some big guys, and if we go out and get KD, I think we could be a really great basketball team just because the size of everybody with Gafford and pieces like that and Lively when we're healthy, we'll be a good basketball team. But you traded away your 5 to 7 year window for a 2 year window, and now this window's closed with all the injuries. So, do you bring Clay back next year, add him to the pieces? We'll see, but it's not looking good for Dallas at all going
Well,
forward.
I mean, and that's the thing is I really wish we could have seen this team fully intact. And I just don't know, it's I don't know what that team looks like. I look at it like I would really enjoy to have seen all the pieces put together and just kind of
Yep,
see what the team would have been with everything.
with that
Without
trade.
Luca, even
Yep.
without Luca, I still think that, even without that, I still wanted to see the defense, and I think defensively would have been interesting to see how good this team was. And it's unfortunate. It's just like a curse right now, and it seems like a curse. And if the Mavericks are at the outside looking in, and all these fans are watching Kyrie or not Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, and they end up going to a finals, I think a lot of Maverick fans are going to be questioning what's going on and why did we do this? Because even without Kyrie, if we still had Luka on the team, we still had a chance. We
Yeah,
still had a
you
chance.
had a chance every year with Luca. I mean,
Yeah.
it's that
So,
kind of. It's like when you got a elite quarterback in the NFL, you have a chance every year for the most part. So,
and
well,
I will say this, if Amber, I don't know if Amber is still watching or not, but I will say this. I brought this up a couple of episodes ago. I think it was a couple of episodes ago, um, where I kind of broke down a little bit and said I just think glass half full. I My hope and a lot of Mavericks fans' hope is Mark Cuban still has a portion of some control. He never gave up full 100%.
yeah.
And I
Honestly,
think,
I
and
thought he still had player personnel decisions, but apparently not.
no, oh, yeah, I think it was like 30 something or 20 something percent or something crazy. But if and when they pass this bill, I would say my gut is when, not necessarily if. And when that happens, do the people now that run the whole casino deal, this family that owns the Mavericks, are they going to change the way that it's structured in terms of ownership of the team? Are they going to just say, okay, we'll control this whole casino arena thing and we'll own 30 something percent? So it's like a flip of what Mark Cuban has right now. He'll own a majority stake and they'll own like 30 something percent and make the profit off of the casino business. We'll see. That's been floating around. So um, hopefully, that's my hope. I guess maybe that's
Emmer
just a
says
pie in the
that
sky type of
halftime
deal.
before AD got hurt, they looked good. You're exactly right. They did look good, and then it all came crumbling down really fast.
We'll
All right,
see.
Jeff. Well, I haven't heard a whole lot of baseball news. But the baseball news I did today did not bode well for the New York Yankees as pitcher Cole has some elbow soreness. You concerned about that with Garrett Cole?
Uh, Same thing he had last year. I guess it seems like he got injured or he was hurt, and they were trying to avoid surgery last year, and that's why Cole was a late start to the season. And then when he was on, he was like insane.
Yeah,
Um,
he
it's
was real good.
mostly Garrett Cole asking to be checked out, which is interesting. He's saying he's feeling discomfort. Hopefully, they haven't got the MRI back yet. I don't know when they'll get it. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not quite sure, but until then, it's kind of fingers crossed, I guess. But the only thing about it is we're not totally bad now. But still, we're not bad in general. But I'm just saying with Cole, let's say Cole's injured, right? And if it's a short injury, a short time frame, no problem. If it's Tommy John, then that's horrible because
Yeah,
that's an entire year gone. Um, and then that also questions like he's he's getting older, so I mean that's kind of you don't like to see a year removed from that. But um, we have Luis Heel. People really and a lot of Yankee fans really like the guy. They consider him this up and coming star. He was in consideration for Rookie of the Year last year. He kind of tailed off at the end and didn't really. He kind of hit a wall at the end of the season. Didn't really perform well in the playoffs a whole lot. He did a couple games, but the World Series he didn't perform very well. Um, and then we also got I think it was Max Fried. So we got him from free agency.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
yeah,
Atlanta, and so
he's good.
he's great, and
Yeah,
maybe he'll step in when Cole's injured and the time that Cole is missing, if he's missing any time, and then he is he could definitely be a one. So on any
yeah,
other team. So I think it sucks, but I'd rather get this out of the way now
yeah.
than
You want it earlier on.
mid-season, and then now we're really not knowing what's going on. So I'd rather it in spring training and then we know what's going on and then we can figure it out now versus middle of the season. That's the worst.
It's funny, we talked a lot of basketball this episode, and the Lakers and Boston Celtics playing each other tonight in the
Yeah, I
Game
saw
1
that.
final. Boston won by 10 points. So,
No.
um,
Luca's
all
Achilles heel, the Celtics.
yeah, shots fired. Um, let's get
It's
into the
true.
last sport we haven't talked about. Craig, the Dallas Stars made a splash with a huge trade. Why don't you talk about it? I think um, now they're one of the favorites, if not the favorites, to win it all. But let's talk about it.
Honestly, I think they were probably somewhat the favorites before the trade.
Yeah,
Actually, this is the second time he's been moved this year. Nico Rettinen, when they traded him from Colorado to Carolina, it was like, whoa, what's going on? Stop the press. Um, and I guess when he got over to Carolina, it didn't work. And the next thing you know, he's on the trading block again, and Dallas gets him. Not a fan of what they gave up.
they get a really good player
They gave
and
up
two firsts.
probably the rookie of the year in Logan Stankoven and 2 1s, which is Jim Neal's, you know, favorite thing at the draft. A lot of teams go and build teams different ways. Well, he has built the Dallas Stars through the draft. But if you look at it, they're set up for the next, I don't know, 5 or 6 years with the guys they got. Now, Matt Duchene will be a free agent at the end of the year. Jamie Benn will be a free agent at the end of the year. They've got one more year of controllability of Mason Marchment, but the core group of guys, Robertson, Hintz, uh,
Wyatt.
Wyatt Johnson, and now Mikko Rentonen, are all controlled for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And so, um, core group of guys, even the defensive guys, Heiskanen, and then there's been talk of extending both the guys they got in the other trade in Cody Cece and Mikael Granlund. So if they can lock those guys down in contract, then the basically the nucleus of the team will be set for the next 5 years. Now I don't know. They are not night
Not
one of
doing
the
too high
Nico
tonight.
Rentonen era is not off to a good start. It's 3-1 just into the second period. But
Yeah, I saw that.
uh, but since the Four Nations deal, they only have one loss. They're still 6 or 8 points back of Winnipeg. I want to say they play Winnipeg tomorrow on the second night of a back-to-back. You hate to do that with team you're chasing, and you got to catch them on the second part of the back-to-back, and probably have your backup goalie, in between the pipes when you're facing a team that you're wanting to catch. But yeah, no, I like it, and I like the fact that he came in and immediately before he even got on the plane to come here, signed an 8-year extension, and said, "Yeah, I'm in." You don't see that very often. When he got traded, I think that's why Carolina got rid of him, was
Yeah.
because Carolina trades for him, and they try to extend him, and he's like, I don't really. Maybe we'll get back to that. And then all of a sudden, they're like, well, I mean, we're gonna, if you're not gonna sign an extension here, we got to get something for you. And so they get something for him, and now he immediately signs an extension in Dallas. So it was weird because they had talked about this, and then Friday morning was the trade, or Friday at 2:00 was the trade deadline, and Friday morning it came out that basically the trade was going to be a no-go, that the talks had gone silent between them. And I think what it was the original, what Dallas was offering was the same trade but with Maverick Bourque rather than Logan Stankoven. And I think the talks fell south. And then I probably last hour Neil was like, all right, what's it going to take? And they're like, well, how about Stankoven? And he's like, all right. And so he gives up Stankoven, and I hate to see him go, but I'll be interested to see. The only real fear you have in a trade like this is, does the guy match your team chemistry? Does the guy match your team, identity? And if he does, then Dallas made out and will be good for a long time. If he doesn't, well, then I guess Dallas will be putting him on the trading block, maybe next year or the year after. If that happens, that's not a good thing if you're traded like 3 times inside of a calendar year. So keep an eye on that.
It bodes well though that, like I said, he already signed a contract with him showing up. He knows
Right.
that this team is a good hockey team. They've been in the playoffs and the finals the last couple of years, and hopefully he's the missing piece to get him over the hump. Craig, me and you need to go hit up a Dallas Stars game. Got to get to more of those.
Absolutely.
Super fun. Kid,
Yeah, Kid put a thing up there. You want to put
he
it
lives
out
in
there, Brian?
DFW. Yeah, he lives in DFW. Well, me and Craig live in DFW too. Dude, I live
I
in
used
DFW,
to.
Texas.
I don't live there anymore.
Well,
I'm in
can't blame.
Colorado now.
Won't
It's
even
been
talk about it in
relocated.
Austin.
But so you know what? Since Kid brought it up, I think we should talk about that.
Do we think it'll happen?
Will gambling be a thing? Now,
Are we
will
talking
gambling be a
sports
thing,
betting, or are we
especially
talking about
it doesn't matter.
casinos?
It's going to be across the board. If they legalize gambling in Dallas Fort Worth, it's going to be across the board.
Well, if it's going to be, it's not just Dallas Fort Worth. It's going to be, it's a
Well,
state
just Texas
mandated,
in general.
It's a state mandated deal, so
Right?
the entire state would have to do it.
Right.
I don't think it happens.
They've tried. They've tried for several years and it hasn't worked. They got to go across to Louisiana to go to the casino.
What is the hesitation with it? What's the hesitation with it? Because I would assume Dallas Fort Worth would say, look at it and go, oh, more money. More money influx.
You can say this
again. It's
same
not
thing
Dallas
with
Fort Worth. It's the state. It's whoever the governor and the they have the morality, deal.
Okay, so as a state as a whole, why would an influx of money be on that scale not be a good thing?
The only way they got the lottery pass is they said that the money from the lottery was going to go to the schools.
Yeah.
That they would donate a huge portion of it to schools. I don't know if that's still a thing or not, but
Well, I
that's
think
how they got the lottery pass. They didn't even have the lottery for years when you
yeah,
when I first
and I
moved
think
here.
you could say the same thing, Jeff, with why don't more states legalize marijuana and tax it? That right there would make the state a lot of money in taxes.
I think with this one though, it's not just about just the money. It's all it's hotels, it's
Yeah.
the casino, and then that brings in an event, and then it's it's Jerry World Casino, right? He'd put one right there. So it's just
Yeah, he's
I
already got
look at it.
hotels and everything else
Yeah,
there.
I look at it and I'm like, it is very baffling because they seemed very confident that was going to pass.
Yeah.
So confident that Mark Cuban sold part of the team to a casino billionaire family.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Kid brought it up. I just find it to be interesting because I look at it and I'm like, I don't know. It's,
May not be a reason to turn the hockey game on.
4-1.
Yeah.
Well, in the third second.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I mean, good kudos. We covered a lot of sports today. We hit them all. I think we got a lot of our comments in the basketball section, so that was really good. I want to thank all
I
those
think
that
Kid made a comment real quick. I just want to put that in there.
Boston blew them out. I'm guessing he's talking about Celtics.
Maverick.
Yeah, the Lakers kind of came. I saw something that said a 3-pointer kept the Lakers in it, but it really wasn't as close as a game as you think.
Oh, okay.
Thank you guys, all those that came out and talked on the chat. It was great to have interaction.
Anybody watching it, likes help the video algorithm. So we've been doing this a lot more with YouTube and for a long time we just did audio. So we really appreciate it. Appreciate the comments. If anyone can videos, it really helps us, and then we can have more interactions, more people on here, and more discussions and debates and stuff like that, and
like,
just have fun.
share, subscribe. If you want us to talk about a certain topic, put it in the comment section, or we have an email at the sportscast at outlook.com. So you can email us there your thoughts, opinions, or something you want to get on the show. You want a question, you want us to bring up a topic we haven't talked about yet, or our takes on that. So
And if you've watched, Kid brought one up, and we went right into it
Yep.
because something that was interesting to me, because it does affect the sports world in a way because of sports betting, and sports betting isn't legal in Texas. So
Amber says, thank you guys. No, thank you, Amber. Hopefully we do a show every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Central Time, and then when football season hits, we do a episode on Tuesdays and Saturdays. There's just a lot more sports to get into with football. We'll get into more football in April when the draft hits, and go from there. But we give you a weekly sports update and talk about hot topics. It is their final segment of the show as we ask, what is in your locker? Craig, why don't you start us off with that, buddy?
Oh, another long week. Just trying to get back to somewhat a semblance of a routine. And I haven't been able to do that. The sleep schedule's been off, the deal's been off, but finally got everything done with Zach's truck, and all that's done. And he actually is excited. He got his first job interview on Monday morning, so we'll see how that goes. Other than that, trying to get back into the gym, trying to get ready for bowling for the back half of that, and try to make a run at that. Other than that, how about you guys?
I guess I'll
Jeff,
go.
on.
Yeah, I just went to I wasn't on last week because I was at my mom's and helping her out, and Allie went and had a book signing in Colorado Springs, so we just hung out at her house that weekend and chilled out and played some Jeopardy on the Switch. That was fun.
Nice.
And then yeah, just busy with work. I'm juggling two positions right now. I don't know if I brought this up on the show at all yet, but I've been now graphic designing some of the day at work, and they've realized I was a graphic designer, and then they just offered me a part-time position that will eventually turn full-time. So I'm kind of in this weird transition, kind of juggling one position
Your
and then
part-time
running
job.
upstairs for like a couple of
Yeah.
hours and juggling another position. And then I have two people pulling me because if one doesn't want me to leave, one wants me to go up. So, but it's cool. It's a good company. So I'm willing to do what they need me to do, in order to do any kind of graphic design stuff. So that's been fun. I like the manager in the art department's super awesome. It's kind of what I was looking for, um, when it came to graphic design. So, what I thought I was getting into when I first did the corporate thing, I was like, oh yeah, and it wasn't that. So, but now I'm like, okay, this is what it should have been. So that's awesome. But other than that, not much going on. I'm making a cover. I made a cover for a crime book, for a friend, and then I'm also then working on a poetry book for another friend. So doing a bunch of graphic design stuff, getting ready for baseball. I might subscribe to MLB at Bat right off the jump, which normally I don't. I just kind of wait and see what the season looks like before I do something like that because I don't want to pay for it and then all of a sudden be frustrated. So and then looking forward to MLB The Show 25. I don't know if anybody's a baseball fan, especially sports games, but this one is going to have college in it, which is fascinating. So when you do your road to the show, you'll go up from high school to college, and which is cool.
That's
It's
awesome.
cool to
Yeah.
see
Love it.
college baseball. It's very interesting. Maybe next year we'll get Little League in there, and you'll start out as a little kid. And so that would be wild.
Come on, Johnny.
But yeah, so that's what's in my locker. What about you, Brian? What's going on?
Well, been pretty good. Work's been great. We celebrated my littlest one's birthday this weekend. It was actually Friday, and we took her out Friday night to go eat dinner and cake and presents and all that. She just turned 6, so freaking kids are growing up way too fast. So, um, I watched the documentary. Y'all should watch it. It's a really good watch. It's We Beat the Dream Team, and they talk about the practice team that beat the Dream Team, and I'm not gonna go more into it. I don't give anything away, but it's a really good watch. If you want to watch that, guys, it's fantastic. I will not be here. I just thought about that the next 2 Saturdays. So you guys are gonna have to take control of the show. I'm going out of town next weekend,
Brian, what will we
and
do? We'll be lost.
and then
What's a computer?
the weekend after that, I will. It's the kind of weekend that we've taken to celebrate our anniversary and take some time for just me and Jana and my mom's gonna watch the kids and so we can have some time together.
You're
So
married to
I'll
the
be gone
podcast, Brian. Not.
for,
You're married to the podcast. Okay.
for 2 weeks. I'm on the phone on Riverside. I was like, get off the phone. I thought this was our time. Um, but yeah, other than that, just getting ready for really diving into the stars in hockey and baseball season. I'm more excited this season for the Rangers. Um, and I got something I'm excited for on Monday. It's gonna help the podcast show, I think at least to go in the background and a new headset here. So we're doing pretty good. So other than that, guys, that's it for the episode. Thank you, Amber, kid, for jumping on in the comment section, and for those that are watching live, fantastic. Love to see it. Like, subscribe, and we will see you next week. God bless.
Good night.
Fantastic show. Love it. Love all the comments.